It's about time we got a Miata, I guess. More specifically, this one is a 2000 NB with the 1.8 and the limited slip differential, so it's fully loaded. We're getting the full experience here, like watching Brazzers in IMAX 3D. The Miata is heralded as the quintessential entry-level enthusiast car, but I don't know if that's the case anymore. About 7 years ago, this was an entry-level platform for people just getting into track days, but now, all the cheap Miatas are gone. They were bought by dudes looking to impress goth girls, so if you're looking for one, you missed the boat by about a year or two. So now, we're left with this. But that's what happens when people start paying for a product because of its attributes instead of its price point. The Miata couldn't stay cheap forever, so they're not. You see, common project cars have a life cycle. They're made and sold to normal people who drive them on the weekends a little bit, and then they sell them to people who want a fun daily driver weekend car, and while they're less careful with them, they're still usually in good shape. And then, a few years later, and that's how you get shit like this. In fact, the owner of this, who is a long-time online friend of mine, just sold it for twice what he got it for, but not before I got the chance to drive it. So, first let's get one thing out of the way. Miatas aren't fast. This one has the biggest motor, the 1.8 liter with variable valves, and it's enough to gently push the car from 0 to 60 in, I don't know, like 8 seconds?
I fucked that up so bad.
I know. I mean, it's not barge slow. You don't have to choke the life out of it to merge on the highway, but I mean, it's a Miata. At its core, this is a corner carver for the everyman, and for that purpose, having a low power motor with a linear power band makes sense, especially since you don't have to worry about blowing it up. And it's not like the BP is a bad motor. The aftermarket support to make big power has existed for at least a decade at this point. And yeah, you're able to swap the motor if you're looking for a completely different experience. But this is a platform that you, as an enthusiast, can grow with instead of out of. And that design ethos also extends to how the car handles. I finally get it. I've been enlightened. My third eye has been opened. The Miata isn't just an accessible sports car. It's a car that's been designed to feel like second nature after driving it once. Just like the power band, the handling is predictable and consistent. The low center of gravity and the even weight distribution feels great at twisties, especially since the car is so freaking lightweight. Generally, these characteristics ensue that the back end steps out a little bit in the corners, but that also means that the front end of the car doesn't dive into corners like a well-balanced FF car does. And that's not bad, it's just something that's different. I also really liked how you could feel how close it is to braking traction, which, with these bold-ass tires, happens constantly.
What the hell? Oh my god!
But oddly enough, even with these tires, it never felt like it was out of control. It was just kind of fun, actually. The only criticism I could possibly come up with is how the chassis could be a little bit stiffer, but that's not necessarily something that detracts from the car. It's just something that I would change through modifications. And speaking of, I didn't realize how massive the Miata's aftermarket was. I mean, I thought it would be big, and I knew that big power BP4Ws were possible, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. How about a 13B rotary swap kit? How about heart-shaped air vents? What about a plug-and-play ECU that's made from an Arduino that costs $260? That's cheap as hell. Listen, I've also called the Miata a good car for beginners a million times, but there's just so many reasons why that's such an apt statement. It's a cheap-ish platform with tons of documentation and spare parts. They're easy to fix, and price aside, it's one of the most fun cars you can drive. And you can drive it hard for thousands of miles, and it'll just spit out a premolar and ask for more. And I know that everyone kind of says this stuff, but is there another car that can do all of this for less than 10K? I can't find one. But what do you guys think? If you're looking at getting a Miata, or you own one, comment something you like about them. Thanks for watching, lads. I always got more car stuff coming, so if you like this video and you want to see more, you know what to do. Like and subscribe and shit. Adios until next time.